At first glance, it might seem like narcissists and empaths are a match made in heaven. One thrives on attention and validation, while the other is incredibly attuned to the emotional needs of others. It might feel like the empath is the perfect partner for a narcissist, someone who will constantly give and make sure the narcissist feels loved, seen, and appreciated. And for a while, it might even seem like that dynamic is working. But here's the reality. Narcissists and empaths may be drawn to each other initially, but they're ultimately incompatible, and living together can become a living nightmare for both. Why is that? Why can't narcissists stand being in a relationship with an empath in the long run? It all comes down to the fundamental differences in how they approach relationships and emotions. To begin with, narcissists are self-absorbed. They thrive on being the center of attention, on being admired and validated. For them, relationships are all about what they can get out of the other person. Whether it's admiration, loyalty, or simply someone to boost their ego, they see people as objects that serve a purpose. And initially, an empath seems like the perfect match for this. Empaths are incredibly giving, caring, and emotionally intuitive. They sense the needs of others without being told, and they're often more than willing to provide emotional support, even to the point of neglecting their own needs. For the narcissist, this is great at first. They get to soak up all the attention and care without giving much in return. But here's the thing. Empaths aren't just people who give unconditionally forever. At some point, an empath will notice that they're giving much more than they're receiving. They'll sense that the relationship is out of balance, and their deep emotional intuition will tell them that something is wrong. This is where the conflict begins. When an empath starts to pull back even just a little and starts to take stock of their own emotional well-being, it threatens the narcissist's entire sense of control. Narcissists hate this. They're not used to people setting boundaries, especially not someone they've come to rely on for constant validation. They begin to feel like they're losing their grip, and this is when their true nature starts to show. Empaths, being the emotionally aware individuals they are, will start to question the dynamics of the relationship. They might try to talk to the narcissist about their feelings, hoping for a meaningful conversation that leads to mutual understanding. But that's the thing with narcissists. They don't do empathy. They don't understand the needs or feelings of others because they're so wrapped up in themselves. Any attempt to communicate about the empath's feelings is often met with deflection, denial, or outright hostility. Living with an empath becomes unbearable for the narcissist because empaths don't let things slide. Empaths feel deeply, and they can't ignore toxic patterns or emotional manipulation. The empath will naturally start to push for a healthier, more balanced relationship, which means asking the narcissist to give back emotionally, to be more present, to care about their partner's needs. And for a narcissist, this is intolerable. Narcissists are all about control. In the beginning, they might love the fact that an empath is so attentive and nurturing because it feeds their ego. But as soon as the empath starts setting boundaries or demanding reciprocity, the narcissist feels threatened. They can't stand the idea of losing control, and they certainly don't want to change. Empaths see people as complex, multifaceted individuals with emotions that need to be nurtured and respected. Narcissists see people as tools to be used for their own gain. These two worldviews are fundamentally at odds. One of the biggest reasons narcissists can't stand living with empaths is that empaths have a way of seeing through the narcissist mask. Narcissists spend a lot of energy crafting an image of themselves as confident, successful, and self-assured. But empaths, with their deep emotional sensitivity, can often sense the insecurity and emptiness hiding beneath the surface. They see the cracks in the facade, and they understand that the narcissist's bravado is just that, a defense mechanism to cover up deep-seated feelings of inadequacy. For a narcissist, this is terrifying. They need people to believe in their carefully constructed image, and the thought that someone could see through it shakes them to their core. Narcissists often react to this by becoming more controlling, more manipulative, and more abusive. They'll gaslight the empath, make them doubt their perceptions, and try to regain control through emotional or psychological manipulation. But empaths, being so attuned to emotional energy, will eventually catch on. This leads to an even greater conflict. The empath, sensing the manipulation and toxicity, will begin to withdraw or assert themselves even more. They'll want to fix the relationship, hoping that with enough love and understanding, they can help the narcissist change. But narcissists don't change. They don't grow, they don't self-reflect, and they certainly don't like being confronted with their flaws. The very qualities that make empaths so special, emotional depth, sensitivity, intuition, are the same qualities that make narcissists uncomfortable. Living with an empath forces the narcissist to confront emotions they've been avoiding for their entire lives. The narcissist craves power and control, but the empath's emotional awareness constantly challenges that. The empath might call out the narcissist's bad behavior, refuse to be manipulated, and set healthy boundaries, all of which are things a narcissist cannot handle. Over time, living with an empath becomes a source of frustration for the narcissist. What was once a relationship of control and admiration has turned into something they no longer have power over. They can't manipulate the empath the way they could in the beginning because empaths, while caring, are also incredibly resilient. Once they see the truth of a situation, they're hard to manipulate. And the more an empath pushes for emotional honesty, the more uncomfortable the narcissist becomes. This is why narcissists can't stand living with empaths. Empaths bring a level of emotional depth and honesty that narcissists are not equipped to handle. Narcissists thrive in environments where they can control the narrative, where people don't challenge them, and where they can be the center of attention without having to give back. But empaths, by their very nature, disrupt that balance. They challenge narcissists in ways they've never been challenged before, and this is something the narcissist cannot tolerate. In the end, the relationship between a narcissist and an empath is doomed to fail. While the empath may hope for growth, healing, and mutual understanding, the narcissist will always be focused on control and self-interest. The empath's emotional awareness becomes a threat, and living together becomes a constant struggle. For the empath, it's an exhausting and emotionally draining experience. For the narcissist, it's a source of frustration and panic because they know they're losing their grip on someone who once seemed like the perfect partner. So, if you've ever found yourself wondering why a narcissist can't stand living with an empath, the answer is simple. Empaths see the truth, and narcissists can't handle the truth. Empaths bring emotional intelligence and depth to a relationship, and narcissists are simply not capable of engaging with that in a healthy way. Over time, the empath's emotional awareness will expose the narcissist's insecurities, control tactics, and inability to truly connect on a deep level. And for a narcissist, that's something they simply cannot stand.